herd immunity will happen. That's the end point of any strategy we pick. The current lockdown policy seeks herd immunity. That is the end point. The only question is how much death and suffering will there be in the meantime? The lockdown policy will create and has created enormous death and suffering and will continue to do so as long as it is employed. The Great Barrington Declaration, the focus protection policy protects the vulnerable and will, in the short and long run, have less death and less suffering than the current policy.
Yes, exactly. That is the key point, isn't it? Herd immunity, especially in this country, has become a bit of a dirty phrase, Professor, because Patrick Vallance, our chief scientific advisor, very early on in the pandemic spoke about the benefits of it, and very quickly there was a massive backlash, so he had to reverse course. But the point that the Great Barrington Declaration scientists make very strongly, obviously you being one of them, is that in fact, if we achieve a degree of natural immunity quite quickly, in fact, deaths from coronavirus over the next year will be much, much lower.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The current lockdown strategy essentially extends the epidemic into the indefinite future until such time as maybe a vaccine comes, and even then it won't be over. The focused protection policy makes the epidemic last much shorter. And it matters because the lockdown, the compliance with the lockdown cannot last forever. It's not human to stay essentially sequestered away and to end all normal social function. And so what happens then is that in that relaxation that will occur inevitably with the lockdown policy, vulnerable people will be exposed and people will die as a consequence. The current policy is an immoral, inhumane policy and should end in favor of this much more standard approach to pandemics that we've taken in the past.